Hey guys, what's going on? So today I have an album review for DEHUMANIZED, PROPHECIES, FORETOLD. So if you're not familiar with DEHUMANIZED, they're a brutal death metal band from New York. They play a more slammy variant of the style. If you're a fan of bands like Eternal Bleeding or Suffocation or Mortal Suffering, you'll like these guys. These guys don't necessarily do a lot new for that formula, but they do it very well and in their own sort of style. It's not the most unorthodox or weird way of playing that slammy sort of early brutal death metal, but the way they do it is just very punishing, and they have really good songwriting chops, so I think that's kind of what makes this album so good. It's not so much that they did something new or added something new to that formula at the time. But yeah, funny album cover, fucking Bionicle looking thing. I don't know, it's not the best album cover ever. It's aged pretty bad, honestly, and it's kind of goofy looking, but I like it though. I wouldn't want them to change the album cover. Got a little bit of charm to it. I used to have a long sleeve of this album cover actually. Cool spine text. The actual spine, it's like one of my favorite spines on ACD I own. Sorry about the glare, fucking. But yeah, that's fucking clean right there. I love how big the logo is. Then you got the back. This is put out through Pathos Productions. I believe this originally came out in it's either 99 or 2000, maybe 98. But there's 9 songs on here. What's weird is this is considered a full-length album by most people, but it's really only like 5 songs that were recorded for full length, and then the last 4 tracks on here are just their demo. So it's kind of like a deal with like Disgorgeous Cranial Implement, where it's considered an album, but it's not really an album. It's like an album with a demo. It's like an EP with a demo at the end combined to make an album. So that's weird. So production-wise, it changes halfway here, but the demo doesn't sound super lo-fi or anything like that. But there's the disc, and then behind you just got some like black and white variant of the art to logo over it. Nothing that interesting going on with the booklet. Just thank yous and all that stuff. Layout. All these pictures are really blurry and like stretched out. What can you do? It's fine. So anyways, these guys, they kind of sound a little bit like Internal Bleeding. They have the same formula of like blast beat slam, or groove or whatever. But their groove is a little less bouncy. It's not as, I don't know if energetic is the right word, but it's not as all over the place and danceable as Internal Bleeding. It's a lot more beat downy. A lot of the grooves and slams, they're a lot more boxy and stiff sounding, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think what Internal Bleeding did with Slam was they made it more danceable and groovy, and kind of swingy, but DEHUMANIZED, it's a lot more beat downy, just punchy and chuggy, but it's still catchy nonetheless, and it still makes you bob your head. It's just not as hip-hoppy. It's a little more beat downy. It still has some hip-hoppy kind of vocal patterns, especially on the demo, like songs like Terminal Punishment and Condemned, but it's just less bouncy sounding. I think that's the best way of explaining it. I think the strongest songs on here are Kingdom of Cruelty and Doomed to Die. Doomed to Die has one riff in there with a pinch harmonic. It's a really simple riff, but it's just extremely catchy. And I think if you're going to listen to one song on that album, listen to either that one or Fade into Obscurity. But yeah, that one riff just makes that whole song. So yeah, the first half of the album, the production is kind of weird. It's almost kind of abrasive on the ears. The drum sound is really clanky. There's no like pingy snare or anything like that. I do love pingy snares, but there's something like that in here, but the snare's a little cranked. The guitars don't sound the best. There's a lot of really like, you can hear like the strings like sliding around as they're like shifting from chord to chord. Vocals sound good. Bass is almost inaudible. Speaking of the vocals in DEHUMANIZED, they're not really that low. They're not really guttural. They're just kind of mids, which I think are cool for a slammy kind of band to use anyways, because most of these kind of brutal death metal bands have more guttural vocals. I mean, even Internal Bleeding, Pyrexia, all those kind of bands have super low vocals, but DEHUMANIZED vocals stand out a little bit because they're just more mids, like you'd find in a traditional death metal band, but they also have a lot of highs that sound almost like how deathcore highs would start to sound. Almost. Not, they don't sound like Fry vocals or anything like that. They're just, it's a similar tone. I don't think it's a bad thing though. Personally, I don't mind. Maybe these guys influenced that in some sort of way. Maybe, I don't know. But I think The first song on here is a great way to open up the album. It just has a lot of really just punishing slams and grooves, just really tough sounding. Kingdom of Cruelty has one of my favorite riffs on here. This one groove is just like it's just super heavy sounding. Fade into Obscurity is like the most popular Dehumanized song. That's a good song to start with if you haven't heard this as well. A lot of really triplet sort of riffs on here, which the whole album has in general. That's another thing that Dehumanized does a lot, is they have a lot of those like really fast triplets. Like the beginning of Fade into Obscurity, the riff is like dun 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 dun. So that kind of Devourment kind of capitalized on around the same time, but these guys do it a little differently. Solitary Demise and Infinite Despair both have just really cool highs. I think the vocals shine a lot on those tracks. The demo tracks are a little bouncier, a little groovier. I'm not sure which half of the album I like more, but the demo half definitely grooves a little harder, but I think the songwriting is a little more mature on the first half. It's not a perfect album, and I don't listen to it all that much. I listen to this album maybe like once or twice a month. But it is New York brutal death metal done very well, and it was influential to a lot of slam that came out a few years after. So if you just want some really solid brutal death metal that has a lot of groove, that's just really beatdowny, this will definitely satisfy you. If you're looking for something terribly unique, then this probably won't like suit your fancy. It's not generic. I wouldn't call Dehumanized generic at all, because their songwriting is very strong. It doesn't sound super reminiscent of any other band, but it is reminiscent of that style. It's just they didn't do it much new for that style, but they're just another really good early New York kind of slimy brutal death metal band. But yeah, if you want a good suffocation-y kind of band, then you'll like Dehumanized. I really like this album. This is one of the first like New York kind of brutal death metal albums I got into, like of the slamier variety at least. Like I think like these guys and Eternal Bleeding are like some of the best albums to get into if you're looking to get into that style. And then of course as you go along, you can get more into like Repudiation, Afterbirth, the more really nasty raw bands. But these guys are a good introduction to that style of groove. They pretty much sum it up really well. But yeah, if you want some really beatdowny, sick, fucking moshy, brutal death metal, Dehumanized Prophecies Foretold is a great album to listen to. I forgot to mention that Papyrus font's funny. Anyways, but yeah, not the best album ever, but still really fucking good. And it still has a special place for me because this introduced me to this sort of style of like the really early slam before like Devourment and you know all the 2000s bands. But I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. Just completely solid, great early brutal death metal material. So yeah, Dehumanized with Prophecies Foretold. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.